For any of you kids watching, if when you grow up you want to rattle the financial markets, threaten tariffs against Mexico. And sure enough, the Dow closed down over 350 points after Donald Trump threatened a 5% tariff on all Mexican goods on June 10, unless Mexico slows the flow of migrants crossing our southern border. The president said the tariffs would rise monthly to as high as 25% until the problem is solved. NBC News reporting today that Trump's tariff threat was opposed by Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin and U.S. Trade Representative Robert Lighthizer. For more, our go-to guy on economics, Ali Velshi, co-host of Velshi and Rule at 1 p.m. Eastern on weekdays. He's also the host of MSNBC Live at 3 p.m. Eastern. For good measure, he anchored the hour before this one. We heard a rumor he was trying to get home. We wouldn't allow that. Jonathan Allen, the veteran political journalist who happens to be NBC News national political reporter, is also joining our conversation tonight. Gentlemen, before we begin, here is the president's trade advisor, Peter Navarro, on CNBC on this topic.
Why raise American consumers' prices on all of that stuff coming from Mexico?
So this is one of the most misunderstood aspects of the Trump tariffs. China, for example, bears the burden of the tariffs in the form of lower exports, lower prices for their products, lower profits for their companies. The government of China has borne the burden of those tariffs in the form of lower tax revenues and a lower rate of growth.
But so is
Mexico,
the American consumer.
But no.
I mean, importers pay for it.
No, the governments of China and Mexico will pay for it, and the producers in Mexico and China pay for this.
Ali Velshi, just once and for all, who pays for tariffs?
Buyers of products.
Okay.
End of story. The buyer of the product, the producer, the importer of a product from Mexico or China pays for it, whether it's an air conditioner, a bicycle, or fruit or vegetables. They, unless they feel very charitable over, they've had a very rich year, they're passing it on to you, the buyer. So if we've got tariffs on and Mexico has them and China has them, everybody's consumer pays for them. The government doesn't pay for them. Buyers of products pay for them.
Why wouldn't a nice man like that, speaking with the imprimatur of the White House on the North Lawn, tell the truth about something like that?
Because this is what the White House is using to sell this idea. There are really valid reasons to have tariffs. Some of them are that you make the price of goods more expensive, goods that are made in other countries, forcing people to buy goods that are made in their own country. That might be a goal, but the idea is the price goes up, and that's what changes consumer behavior. This White House is trying to convince people that when you put tariffs on, some other government pays some kind of tax, and nobody actually suffers any pain for it.
So, John Allen, while Mr. Navarro may have put on the Bill Barr cloak of invisibility today, is there other dissent within said West Wing?
There is, as our colleagues at NBC have been reporting. Steve Mnuchin, the Treasury Secretary outside the West Wing, but very close to it, is dissenting on this. I mean, this policy is coming, as we learned today, that the the detention centers at the border are overflowing. 76 people to cells that are intended for 12, and the president's reaction to this, driven by Stephen Miller, his senior policy advisor for immigration. The response to that is to squeeze the Mexican economy in ways that are likely to produce more immigration, not less, and to slap American consumers with tariffs. It's the kind of policy that you would expect to come from possibly a public relations aide. The experts on public policy here, the Treasury Secretary, the trade representative, they're the ones that were fighting back on this. They lost that argument, and now they got to march out, and as they did today, at least through their spokespeople, they got to march out and say that they're on Team Trump.
So, John, what's the chance this is a Twitter boredom, shiny object, sop to the base? Here we are, after all, talking about the possibility of tariffs over a border where we do $1 billion a day, give or take.
You certainly can't rule out the possibility that President Trump would reverse a policy on Twitter that he put out on Twitter at any time. And Brian, to your point, and I appreciate you giving kids that are up at 11 o'clock tonight lessons on how to
public service,
how to destroy the stock market and take care of some other things all at once. It's certainly possible that would happen, but this president has tried very much to message to his base on policy regarding Mexico and other countries, particularly when it comes to trade and basically when it comes to anybody outside our country. So we see these policies discussed. People say there's no way he's going to go forward with that, and then he goes forward with it, whether it was the travel ban, whether it's the wall across, along the border, or in this case, a tariff policy that a lot of the people, even inside his own administration, don't believe is one that makes any sense.
Ali, will we ever see, in your considered judgment, these tariffs?
So I'll tell you, look at the stock market response today. You said down over 300 points. That's actually smaller than it would have been if investors really believed it would happen. So I think some investors, before they heard that
they
Lighthizer
baked doubt into the market.
Yeah, I think you've got doubt baked in, because Mexico is not a place where goods get on a ship and come to a port in America and you put duty on those goods and you buy them. Mexico is fully intertwined with America in terms of trade because of the free trade agreement. So a car, or because of NAFTA, a car part, a component will go from the United States to Mexico. It'll get put into a part which will then come back to the United States, that might be put into a dashboard that will then go to Canada, and then it'll go back into the United States. So this is not a ship of goods is coming in, put 5%, 10%, 15% on it. We are completely intertwined with Mexico in manufacturing, in agriculture, in automotive. So there are a lot of people saying this is very hard to do, and it's very damaging, and it's going to be very expensive. As John Allen says, it's going to hurt the Mexican economy, which is never good for, if folks don't like people coming across the border, that's never good. So there are a lot of reasons why this doesn't seem all that plausible. And then you hear that Mnuchin and Lighthizer were not on board on this kind of stuff. So there are certainly some people who say this was a Twitter trade war, Twitter tariff, and it might end as a Twitter tariff.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.